Hey everybody, it's JMan105 coming back at you with yet another rant, and admit it, you love my rants. That's why you keep coming back to my channel. Actually, you might be here for the CCG videos too, but since I'm a little between those, we're going to get into another rant. And on today's show, I want to talk about two topics that are always in the news, and they do correlate to each other. I will get to that correlation later in the show. One is the increased demand and usage of food banks across Canada, as well as the universal basic income. Now, I'm going to talk about the latter first. If you're not aware of what a universal basic income is, this is an idea put forth in the West and some European countries that comprises of a basic income for the lowest income earners out there, or people that are unemployed, or people that can't fend for themselves. And this idea has been put forth by left-leaning governments. A lot of people think it's a good idea to have a universal basic income that people can put towards food, necessities, housing, what have you. But I am not someone that agrees with the universal basic income. I'm actually against it. And before you condemn me, because I know some of you are already doing that, the reason why I don't like the universal basic income, because as we saw here in Canada over 2 years of COVID, the CERB benefits, which was put together as a rebate for Canadians, as a bi-weekly check to get them through COVID, was actually misused. Number one, the government didn't tell anybody that they had to repay it at the very end, which they did. Number two, it made a lot of people lazy and complacent. People were staying home and taking the CERB checks and not working, period, or people that should be out looking for jobs at the time that were having a hard time. And yes, I'm taking COVID into consideration. They did not look for work. They took the CERB and sat at home and did nothing. We have EI up here, which is unemployment insurance. This is what you get when you're laid off from work. You can apply it and get it for a short time to get you back into a job, to help turn the tide and keep you going through your unemployment. That's also a hot button topic up here because, again, EI gets misused. That's why it's so hard to apply and get granted EI when you're off work, and why it takes so long. The universal basic income serves to get rid of EI and things like CERB and others and other programs that the government has, and put it under one bracket so that people have a means to pay for necessities and live. Again, though, the problem with this is it's not a well thought out plan. People are going to take advantage of it 100%, and it's not a solve all to the problems that we have going here. I was raised knowing that hard work and determination pays off. Yes, it's taking me 42 years of my life to start seeing some of that hard work pay off, but that's what it is. That's life. Life is basically survival of the fittest. We're all responsible for our own choices and how we run our own lives. And that might seem a bit harsh, but it's true. There have been several times across my own life where I was nearly bankrupt. And instead of complaining or applying for any government help, I never once went after any government help, especially during COVID. I reloaded, recharged, came at everything from a new angle, and decided that I had to keep reinventing myself and changing careers to get ahead, to make the money I wanted to make, to find a place to work that would appreciate me and pay me what I was worth. A universal basic income takes this and tears it apart because it's going to create a new problem. I can see where they want to eliminate EI and other things and put it under one umbrella, but again, hello, welcome to this world after a certain age. Here's a basic income. Where's your motivation to go out and work? You're going to want to sit on that, especially if you're living at home. You're going to sit on that and accumulate it and use it to get ahead instead of going out in the world and finding your spot. Now, that being said, the correlation with the increased food bank usage. Apparently, food bank usage has been tied to income, whereas we have a lot more rich people out there that more so than what we need. And the gap between the rich and the poor keeps growing wider and wider. This is less to do with people living outside their means, but more so the people that rich people are not holding up their end of the bargain. There's a lot of people out there with a lot of money hoarding. They don't give back to the communities. They're selfish. All they can see is their little picture of getting richer and richer and not doing their fair share to help out. And I disagree with the notion that we have more people using food banks because of the fact that the minimum wage hasn't risen. Again, a lot of people working minimum wage jobs. Minimum wage jobs were just that. They're minimum wage jobs. They're not meant to live off of. You have to improve your skills and keep moving up and earn the money it takes. Now, that being said, before someone condemns me again, I understand there are people out there that either have disabilities or they're disadvantaged. They don't have the same chances per se, and they need a little bit of help. There's certain ways that we should help. Obviously, I'm not rich, but I'm not poor. I do help out by donating food to local pantries and food banks because everybody has to eat. And that is a principle that we should all adopt, that we should all be helping, no matter how rich we are or poor we are. We should be helping the food banks and helping people and filling up those local pantries and helping people, because nobody should be without food. When we live in a rich country like Canada and there's people going hungry, that's not right. And I've said this on previous episodes that covered other topics I'm not going to get into. But again, I don't think the universal basic income is going to help this problem. I think people are going to either squander it, misuse it, or do something where it's not going to be used to its full effectiveness, and we're still going to have the same problem. You can repackage something as much as you'd like and get rid of EI and CERB and all that other stuff and turn it into a universal basic income. Then you'll have the people on welfare complaining that they don't have enough money and they should get that. Then you're going to have to combine welfare with the province or country federal assisted universal basic income. There's a reason why it hasn't gone through and why it's not that good of an idea and why it needs to be further thought out before anything like that of the sort is implemented. In the meantime, we should all be helping out food banks, helping out the disadvantaged, just being kind to one another. And I'm really pointing at you rich people who have the means and aren't doing enough to help. I see a lot of poor and middle class people helping poor and middle class people. I don't see a lot of rich people helping anybody but themselves, and it's not right. This is why we have the problems we have, even in a country like Canada, because of the disparity between rich and poor. The middle class has been virtually eliminated. There really isn't any middle class anymore. I used to be middle class. I'm kind of lower middle class now. I'm not comfortable, but I'm not poor. I'm getting by, but I want to be comfortable. See where I'm going with this? So, rich people, again, it's all your fault. I'm not going to blame the government for coming up with this piss poor idea of a universal basic income because it's not really well thought out. I am going to blame the rich people and the elites because it's always their fault. 100%. And if you don't agree with that, too bad, because it's true. Anyways, that's all for right now. I have another episode to talk about another topic, so stay tuned for that one as well. Have a great day, everybody. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Leave comments below. I want to hear everyone's opinion. Rich versus poor, universal basic income, food banks. Let me know how it goes in your city, wherever you are listening to this. Okay? Have a great day, everybody.